This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Human error. Evolution.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Back in business, baby. Welcome back, everyone. Good morning. You guys are liking the intro? All right. We'll keep it for a little bit. Morning, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope all the fathers had a good Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Yeah, market closed on Wednesday. Market closed on Wednesday. I like that. Market closed on Wednesday. So we got today, we got tomorrow, and we got Thursday, we got Friday. Morning, morning, morning. Welcome back. Semiconductors. Hot, man. Hot again. Staying hot. TSM. Loving that TSM move. Nvidia just broke the highs. AVGO, Broadcom, some juicers out there this morning. Some key levels on the NASDAQ ES as well, so should be an interesting day. We had the, if you guys do use the /NQES on TOS, just know those did roll over to the September contracts today, so we will be on the September contracts on TOS today. This was, saw some people talking about the gap up on the NASDAQ ES last night. It was not a gap up. It was just that contract rollover. So the September contracts on NQ are right near this 20,000 mark. That looks to be around where the NASDAQ had some trouble on this morning, this 20,000 psychological level sort of here on the NASDAQ futures. So that's going to be a big level up there to watch this morning. But a very, very interesting pullback area to be watching today on the NASDAQ. And so this is going to be the main watch of the day and something we will talk about in today's live stream. Wait a few minutes. What happened this weekend that we can talk about for a few minutes? Bryson. Awesome win by Bryson at the U.S. Open. That was sweet. Happy to see him win that. Pretty awesome. What else happened? Panthers lost 8-1. That was crazy. It almost feels like the Panthers just want to win at home, which I would assume they do probably tomorrow. Celtics, yeah. What do they play tonight? Maybe they close it up tonight. And then we got no sports, man. That's the sad part. This is a tough part of the year. Then we wait for at this point we're just waiting for the NFL draft. Oh, I'm sorry, the NFL season to start, not the draft. We got baseball, but man, baseball's I don't know. Some people like baseball. I find it very hard to watch. I find it hard to watch regular season baseball. Italy won versus Albania. Yeah, saw that. UFL. All right. Yeah, the Euro should be is Ronaldo's playing, right? For Portugal. Ronaldo's playing for Portugal, right? Did England win? England won 1-0. Wow, close. All right. Welcome back, guys. I guess we'll get started. 8:05, so game time. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Continue to help me get towards that 100,000 mark. 100,000 subscriber mark. Here we go. Charts and economic data. So today, really not much, guys. Not much on the economic data today. 8:30, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index. So we'll see if there's a little bit of action there on that. Don't know if I expect too much off that, but we'll keep an eye on that. 9 o'clock, FOMC member Cook speaks at 9 o'clock. Looks like a not important event. It's showing a yellow event, so not as crucial to the markets. I guess you could, this is all going to be before market open, so we can always watch this without much concern. 8:30, 9 o'clock. Let's keep an eye on those two. I don't think too much there, but we will watch. Tomorrow, retail sales. That'll be something to pay attention to tomorrow. So 8:30 tomorrow, we do have retail sales. Wednesday, market is closed. So right here, market's closed here. That's why this is all grayed out right there. So just know that. No trading on Wednesday. We have ourselves a nice little break. Love to see that. The longer you trade, man, after 10 years, actually going on 11 now, after 11 years, it is very nice to get some breaks, get some nice 3-day. This is not really a 3-day weekend, but at least a short work week. Wednesday market is closed. Go do something else. Go enjoy yourself. Go relax. That's key. Thursday, unemployment claims. That's our normal stuff on Thursday. Nothing out of the ordinary. And Friday, our manufacturing PMI, services PMI. So pretty light week in terms of economic data. Really not too much there. Of course, we had that major week last week. We had the CPI. We had the FOMC. So looks like they're giving us a little break on all that economic data. Tomorrow, retail sales. That's probably the biggest of the week, honestly. It goes retail sales, unemployment claims, and then that PMI on Friday. So that's that. That is that. So that's economic data. Not much to worry about today. Let's go to the earnings. Anything on the earnings calendar here? Take a quick peek. It's going to start fading out. Really not much left on the earnings side. It looks like Lennar today after hours. That's who built my house. Not the best builder, I'll tell you that. But in large quantities, right? A large quantity sort of cookie cutter builder. But Lennar, keeping an eye on that. Is Steelcase same as Steel Series? I think this is the company that does Steel Series. Steelcase. It looks like the same font. No. Darden Restaurants. I actually almost worked for Darden when I was younger. What else? Smith & Wesson. CarMax. Yeah, nothing really, man. Nothing really on the economic or on the earning side. But if you are interested in any of those, there you go. And here we go. Let's get into the NASDAQ. Let's get into the market. Let's get into the levels. If you could, we got 1,100 people. We got 300 likes. Damn. Monday morning. Everyone's still sleeping. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up and press the like button. All right. So there is a very, very key, very clear level that you are watching today on the NASDAQ futures. And that is this zone right here. Quite clear, quite obvious, and a very nice level to potentially catch some trades off of today. 15-minute chart on the NASDAQ futures, you can see that we had rejections, and rejections over the last 2 days of last week. We had a high on Thursday at 19,920 to 19,930. We had a high there on Thursday at open, right? Thursday pre-market, Thursday near open, Friday pre-market, and Friday intraday. We could not get above that level multiple times, right? Failed, eventually breaking through towards close on Friday. This morning, we got a pullback, and we held it as support, and we are maintaining above that level. So it's very clear. This level, if you are above that level, the market is not going lower. Okay? We're not going lower if the NASDAQ maintains that level. That is a abundantly clear previous high that, as of right now, is turning into support. So if we get pullbacks to this level today, this is absolutely a long watch. We are looking to see if we can catch longs in the 19,920 to 19,930 zone. If we can maintain this zone, I would absolutely be looking to find longs on the market back at this level. If we pull back, look to see if that holds come in. Look to see if something like this steps up. Little wick, nice strength off of it. Look to see if you can get that strong price action coming off this 920, 930 zone. This is going to be a major watch today, and I'd really hope that we can get one of those aggressive pullbacks, sort of scare some people out of it, start to see that thing hold, and try to catch that long down at that 920, 930. That would be the best trade of the day, in my opinion, if we can get that. So definitely watching for that move today. If we fail back below it, that is slightly concerning, right? There's a slight concern there because that would be a fail back below last week's highs, right? You really don't want to see the NASDAQ fail back below last week's highs. If we fail back below the 920 and we start to see weakness under it, then that is a very clear flip back below these rejection points, and you probably don't want to be too aggressive long if you are below the last week's highs, right? So if we do flip back below it, right, that could cause a little bit of drama and maybe give us some deeper pullbacks. I would not be longing today if you start to see this level turn into a rejection, right? If that level starts to turn to a rejection today, something aggressively flips here, and we fail underneath this last week's highs, right, that is not going to be a spot that you're going to want to be long. So if we get that and we do get that rejection, I think you're going to come back to right here, that 19,840. That's this low right here. That's this low right here. That's that reclaim on Thursday. And that is that very clear hold all day on Friday, right? You saw that hold all day on Friday. Very nice, right? All day. 19,840. You saw us maintain above it. And that is going to be the level that you watch for if you do catch this short, or if you do wait for a pullback. That's going to be the level I watch right there, 19,840. Under that, you just have your very clear double bottom channel lows at 19,760, right? Thursday's lows, Friday's pre-market lows. Very, very nice. Okay? Pretty damn clear, very clear levels out there today, guys. You just got to trade them. That's all it is, right? It's very clear. It's very obvious, right? If you traded long off the lows there, you did well. If you traded off the 840 here on Friday, you did well, right? If you get a pullback to this pullback, if you get a pullback to this demand and you start to see holds, look to see if that comes in. If you fail below it, then that's a potential short entry. All right, you just got to sort of trust these levels. And today looks very clear out there. So I'm hoping for a pullback to here. I'm hoping to get something of aggressive early morning. Get a nice aggressive pullback early morning, start to maintain this level, and start to see if this curl comes in. All right, that's really what I'm hoping to see today. We shall see. If this thing just pops out of the gates, it's going to be a little bit more tough, right? I would say 20,000 might just be that psychological level to be careful of to the upside. All right, 20,000, that's exactly where the NASDAQ sort of rejected this pre-market. It's a psychological level. It's a big level on the NASDAQ. So 20,000 might be tough. If we don't get a pullback and we just sort of maintain over 20,000, then that might have to be your long as well. All right, if you just hold over that 20,000. It does not matter that the levels rolled over. No, you just have to redo your charts, guys. It's the same levels. If you go to the NASDAQ and you go to the June contract, it's going to look the exact same. If I can even get this to pull up. Why won't it give me the options? It gives me the options there, but doesn't give me the options. Here we go. June, where's June contracts? Right there. So June contracts, same exact thing, guys. Just different numbers, right? Here's your June contract, the one we were on previously. It's the exact same thing, just different numbers, right? Here's your June contract, 19,670. The chart's the exact same. Previous high, previous high, previous high, previous high, turning into support. If you hold above this, you look for that pullback long, right? There's no difference. Just a contract change. So same chart levels, same chart structure, right? Just sort of different numbers on the right side here, but the structure remains the same. So 19,920, 19,930. Let's see if that holds on today. That's going to be key. QQQ, same exact analysis. You can see right here, QQQ, previous highs around that 479. It's a little bit lower than 479 in some cases. It's like 478.50. So I'd probably watch that entire zone if I was, if I wanted to watch this entire zone on QQ. I think that's totally fine. You can see right here, 478.50, 478.50. 478.50, 478.50 area, and then the 479 is holding for now. So it looks like this whole 50-cent range on the Qs is looking to be that sort of pullback long area that I would be very much paying attention to. So 479.50 to 478.50, I'm sorry, 479 to 478.50 is that pullback zone that you would like to see the QQQ remain over. I think you definitely want to see us remain over that Friday high, this Thursday high, and this Thursday pre-market high. That is 478.50. Definitely something that I'd be watching. If the NASDAQ or the QQQ does flip back below that level, then that is where you get some more downside, right? If you do flip back below this demand and you start to see rejections, that's where you can actually look for some downside. Before that, shorting into this, probably not a great idea. If we do fail below that 478.50, you look for a pullback right here, back to that 476.50, right there, right there, right there, right there, reclaim, and all day Friday, you held the 476.50 perfectly. So if you do fail back under that 478.50, you're pulling back to that 476.50. That would be the level to watch. Under that, channel lows, 474.50, double bottom, Thursday, Friday. Okay? Very clear, very clean. Yeah. ES. So ES a little bit weaker than NASDAQ. Has not broken out of the channel highs yet. We can see right here on the ES futures. We did get our little gap fill, close to gap fill pullback to around that 54.60. We reclaimed back above the 54.80, and you can see we're pushing to the upside again. And really, it looks like right now it's 55.10 and 55.18 are the two levels to be a little bit careful of on the upside. If we go to the 15-minute chart, we can get a little bit more detail. You can see right here on the 15-minute chart, you have rejections, 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 and some pre-market rejections right here on the ES at 54.10. I'm sorry, 55.10. So a little bit cautious there, right? ES, a little bit cautious, not as strong. You can see right here, 55.10 has been a pretty solid rejection spot over the last 2 trading days into this morning as well. So we don't want to be too aggressive long right into that. That could definitely show us a little bit of failure there at 55.10. And even if you get above 55.10, you are still trading under that 55.18, which is right there, right? That's that CPI high. So 55.18, 55.18, 55.10. This whole area up here looks a little bit heavy, right, on the ES. So a little bit cautious up in here, right, up in this zone. Not sure you want to be, taking longs, with entry points. You really don't want your entry points to be in this area on the long side, because an entry point here, it sort of exposes you to a lot of risk and a lot of potential of a sort of failure and a move lower, and your entry point up here is not going to look very good. And there's really no reason to be having entry points up here on the ES with that very clear rejection area. So a little bit cautious of that today, right? What would you rather see? Rather see pullbacks and then long entries. So pullback here would look great, 54.80. You can see that hold on Wednesday. You can see that Thursday hold. You can see that intraday Friday hold at 54.80. That could be a nice little entry point, right? Back down at that 54.80. Or even better, 54.60 back down at that Friday pre-market low could be interesting as well. Channel, right? And what do we do in a channel? In a channel, we want to be long at the lows. We want to be short at the highs, or at least be cautious at the highs on longs. And this looks to be your channel for now, this sort of area for now. You can very much see those high rejections. You can see some of this support step in down here, also down at the 54.60. So you'd prefer to be long down at these levels than you would be up at, the major rejections that continue to come in. So be careful up there at 55.10, 55.18. Look for that 54.80, 54.60. Really, what I really want to see, and I talked about this last week, but we haven't quite gotten it yet, this would really be the special spot. This would be the special spot. Get that actual pullback to the actual previous highs. This would be awesome. It would be a gap fill here as well. You'd fill this is still a gap, by the way, right there. So you'd be able to fill that gap at 54.40, right? This would really be the long spot that I would love to see. By the time we get there, we probably have that 20 SMA as well, sort of holding up the market. So just know, right? And I talked about this last week. We are extended over that 20, right? And when we get a little extended over it, we tend to either correct in terms of time or we correct in terms of price. And so right here, right, you guys can see this period right here. This was a time correction. So we got a big pop above the 20. You can see the 20s right here. And we sort of consolidated and waited for that 20 SMA to catch up to price. Here, right, we either are going to consolidate and continue to let that that 20 SMA sort of do this, right? See how this 20 SMA could do this, sort of continue to push higher. If that price consolidates, then eventually you get your push off that 20. So you're either going to consolidate and let that 20 catch up, or maybe there's a price correction, maybe back down towards the 20. That could be something to look for as well. But right now, you are definitely extended past that 20. This is something I really am cautious of when I, put on swing trades. I like to see that ES and Q back down towards that blue line when I take large swing trades. And right now, it's just a little bit past it, right? You can see here's your daily 20, here's current price action. You got a pretty nice gap here to that 20 SMA. Back last week, before the big pop, you were pretty close to it, right? You were sort of hugging that 20, giving you that protection down below. So just something to be a little bit cautious of. I'm not saying the market's going to tank. I'm not saying you're going to see downside. It's not what I'm referring to here. I'm just making sure that in your mind, you're aware that we are slightly extended and maybe not the best spot to be putting on major swing trades, putting in large positions, right? Really trusting the upside continuation. You just got to be slightly cautious up at these supply highs, understanding that pullbacks are still sort of what you want to see to get that really juicy long opportunity. All right, here's the SPY. So SPY, very similar analysis. You can see this whole zone up here just looks sort of tough on the SPY. Anywhere between 543 and 544 just looks pretty tough to me, all right? 543, 543, 543, 543, all this morning, 543. Really getting stuck at this 543, and you still have that 544 major high. So you can see right up there, 544 and 543. So really, if you want, it depends on how you like to put your charts, but, I would not say it's wrong to just put this as an entire zone. All right, this could just be your entire zone right here. Just saying, hey, I really don't want to be too long in this red zone. If I see price action in red zones on my charts, right, let's say you're watching this on the 5-minute chart, which is maybe somewhere you watch it on the intraday. If you start seeing the SPY in here, right, maybe you're just a little bit cautious of, putting on a long entry because you know, hey, I'm in a red zone on my charts. I know that's a spot. I'm just a little bit cautious to really get aggressively long. So just be careful up in here. Definitely some previous rejections in the 543, 544 area. Definitely something to be watching. If you get a pullback, I like this 540, right? And I like that 540 or that 539. I'd look for that channel low, possible channel low demand hold to be more comfortably long today. You still got a decent amount, right, to the downside. If you want a more aggressive pullback, you still got sort of this 535.50, right? You got some previous highs back here. You still got that CPI low at 537 that hasn't been tested on the SPY. You can see right there, 537 CPI low, these previous highs right here. So we still haven't quite tested some of these levels, and you can see how sort of extended we are. So a little bit cautious of that, right? It's going to be hard to predict when that comes in, if it does, but just, it's a matter of understanding it. That's all that you really need to know, all right? You just need to know where you are on the charts. You need to understand where you are. That doesn't mean you wake up today and say, I'm short my entire portfolio because this is overextended. It has to go back. If it doesn't go back, it's manipulation. I can't believe it, right? That's not how you trade. But you can understand where it's at, protect yourself, understand that there is a possibility of a little bit of downside. Know that you shouldn't be putting on large swing trades right under SPY supply, right at the extended levels, right? Just general understandings of where you are on the market will go a long way. All right? Russell rejecting our 2035 right now, which is interesting, right? You can see right here, 2035, sort of rejecting. Bam, bam. So Russell's still weak under this 2035. Be careful of those rejections right there on the Russell today. 2035, very clear rejection pre-market. And this is no joke of a level. If we go out to the hourly chart, get a little bit more time here, you're going to see 2035 was a major previous support. You can see some support, some rejections here, some support previously, and it's stuck under it. So if you just look at the short term, right, you can see it's already getting stuck right under those previous support levels at 2035. So be careful there. Dow Jones, still just sort of a weak name, man. Dow Jones just hasn't quite gotten the juice lately. You can see it's trying to hold on to this 38,880 now, right? A little bit of an attempt here at a hold, but I don't even know if I'm even quite interested here. But the 39,100 you can see is still rejecting. You rejected up at these highs. You're still sort of making lower lows, lower highs. You're trying to hold 38,880, but just looks sort of dead. So we need something here because right now the Dow just seems pretty dead to me. Not really interested in trading Dow names at the current moment. All right, NASDAQ just chilling right above the previous highs. As long as you hold above these highs, that is definitely bullish for the NASDAQ futures. ES sort of sideways. Guys, the reason why the Dow's not going up is because of the stocks that are involved, all right? So what has been going up on this market? It has been pretty much solely semiconductors. Semiconductors and technology stocks. And that is going to help the NASDAQ outperform. So if it's, let's say NQ, right? That's NQ. If tech is up, this is going up, right? If the tech is up, let's say the Dow, YM, if this is down, right? Let's say that YM's down and tech is up, you're probably going to see ES be flat, right? So ES will be flat if tech is up and Dow is down, right? It's sort of a push and pull effect. So this is going up. It's helping the ES slightly try to pull up, but then you got the Dow stocks that are sort of dragging it back down. The ES is like the middleman, right? It's everything. The ES is everything. The NASDAQ's tech. The Dow is sort of Dow Industrials. So the SPY sort of right in the middle. So the SPY will be sort of that middleman, right? While the NASDAQ's going up, Dow's going down, SPY sort of staying sideways. Sort of the what's hot in the market, right? Get a breath for what's hot in the market. Right now, it's all tech. So that's why the NASDAQ has been heavily outperforming stocks like Nvidia, TSM, right? MU, all the big tech names. Microsoft's at all-time highs. Apple's been hot. So, yeah. All right. Let's go into some stocks. Tesla. The pig with makeup. Pig with makeup. What a POS, man. What a POS Tesla continues to be. Sad. Sad to see. Sad to see. I'm not going to lie. Wish we were able to get some action here. Wish we were able to, get some trading, right? Get some nice action. I mean, if you faded it, great. Right? We talked about the potential of a fade, and man, was that the right idea. So another fade on Tesla. The pop and the fade, the pig with makeup. It continues to be. It continues to be. So we're back under 182. We failed that 186 on Friday. Nice rejection back under 182. We're back under there. If you see pops in the 182, be careful of rejections there at 182 now. You are right back under the channel highs. So 182, 186, pig with makeup, and I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. I'm not, just to be quite honest. Would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. You're right back in the chop land, and best of luck in the chop land. I'm not so sure what Tesla does in here. 173 to 168, right? Some areas of potential holds. You can see the 173 holds back here, right? You can see the 168 holds here. You can see the 182 rejections, the 186 rejections, but you are right smack dab in the middle of this channel again. And not something I would be too interested in, to be quite honest. Nvidia, this thing's on a rope. I mean, this thing is on an absolute rope. What a beast. What a beast. So, Nvidia, gap up this morning, gap and go, continuation here. There's some pullback levels I really want on this thing, but I just don't think I'm going to get them. So, I'll just keep buying my shares and sort of letting it be. But right now, if we go to the 5-minute chart, we can go to get a deep dive into some of these levels over the last few trading days. It looks like right now you have a very clear high that needs to hold around 133. So let's first watch that. $133 per share. You can see right here. We need to hold above that 133. If we can hold above that today, I love that continuation. If we can hold above that Friday high and this pre-market high at 133, then look for that continuation, right? Look for that hold. Right here, pull back and look to see if there's a long, right? 133 right there, that's going to be a level to watch today. If you fail below that 133, you're going to come back down to this little 132, right? 132 is some of this consolidation from Friday, and that is the exact level that held here in the pre-market. So 133, 132, two levels to watch there. Below that, you have gap fill, right? Gap fill is at 130.150. So I'm actually going to put that here. I'm going to type gap fill, right? Make sure I understand what that level is in the short term if I'm trading it. So that 131.50 level is a gap fill level. That could be something to watch as well, right? Let's see if Nvidia possibly fills this gap up from this morning. Maybe that's where that long comes in. Now, if you do fail below the gap fill level, that's where I think, maybe a little bit further downside could be necessary. Maybe back down towards that 129.70, 130 area. That could be something to watch as well. You can see that very aggressively held intraday on Friday. You can see this big pop, big pullback, right back into that 129.70, 130, and a nice hold. So this is definitely a level to watch, the 129.70. This is Thursday's highs, double top highs into Friday's lows. So very nice. Yeah. So pullback longs, that's going to continue to be the thing we look for. We've talked about Nvidia. We talked about this for about a month now. Almost for a month now. We said, stop being scared of Nvidia pullbacks. Continue to look for these Nvidia pullbacks to be buying opportunities. And that has been right almost every single time. So let's continue to look for it. If you want to trade some shorts, you can. We faded a little bit on Friday, actually, and caught a I didn't expect it to be such a good trade, and it ended up being a 100% trade, which was sort of surprising. I never had any kind of real size in it, but it was sort of a surprising trade. We faded a little bit of this 132 rejection intraday for a little bit of a drop. It was all right. It wasn't a great trade. It was a little bit against the grain. I don't like to do that, so not that interested in doing that again. But 133, 132, and 130, 150 are 3 levels that I would look for today to see if we can get the pullback longs on Nvidia. All right. AMD. Man, I really would like to see AMD do something here. I'd really like to see AMD wake up, because I know that AMD, when it's in its glory, can really make us some money. It does. Those contracts move. There could be some big stuff. But it's just not moving. It's just not moving. I really don't know what it is. I mean, it's just a total, like, all other semiconductors just totally eating the lunch of AMD. I mean, that's got to be what it is. It might not be until their next earnings that we get some clarity or something about how the performance of this company is in regards to the recent trend. But, man, AMD just really not going anywhere. And you'd like to believe that this is going to shoot up one of these days, right? Because the semiconductors are red hot, NASDAQ's red hot. Everything in the market is set up perfectly for AMD to go higher, but it won't do it. So you can't really get into it yet. That's the problem. They talked about this on Friday. We talked about how you really just can't front run this. You front run this, you're going to sit through a lot of drama, a lot of pain, a lot of BS, stuff that you really just don't want to get involved in. You could keep buying shares down here, right, for that long-term portfolio. If you like AMD long-term, if you believe in the company, this is probably a good spot to start thinking about, hey, maybe I've dipped my toes in some AMD a little bit, but we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. It might be worth, right? This is the sort of situation right here, guys, that's probably worth looking into the financials a little bit, looking into, the fundamentals of the company a little bit, because if it really is a true fundamental problem, then, maybe you need to stay away. I don't know enough. I invest a little bit in AMD. I don't have a major part of my portfolio in AMD. It's up a lot since I've been buying it, so I'm chilling on it. But, yeah, just an interesting one here, right? A very, very interesting one. Let's see. Right? Maybe there's a wake-up call, but right now, surely not. SMCI, nice pop, 870, big rejection spot. We saw that rejection coming on Friday. You guys saw that on Friday right here. Look at this Friday move. Pop, 870, big fail. So we know 870 is a legit level. We came in on Friday in the live stream, and we said, do not long SMCI into 870. And that was pretty much spot on, right? We cannot long SMCI into 870. This is a major level. This is not a 5-minute level. This is a weekly chart level. It's also a daily chart level. So we go to the daily chart. We can see right here, 870 is no joke, right? Right there, 870, 870, major daily chart level. So it's no joke of a level, and you need to respect it. So today, I would be very careful. I know SMCI might be hot today with that semiconductor move, but I'd be very careful into this 870. If you get a pop, be careful longing right into that. So we got to get above 870. We got to get above 870 for SMCI. Don't get too horned up on this thing. I know you can make a lot of money from SMCI, but we got to get above 870. I would be very careful longing this before that breakout. If you can get the break, if you can start to get a solid hold intraday, right, maybe look for that long there. But until then, she's a little bit scary there. I'd be careful of that 870. ARM. All-time high, 164. That's pretty much where we rejected on Friday. You guys saw that. We had that little pop and that total fail at 164. And look at this little rejection right there. That was a beauty on Friday. You had this little fail, break, and retest rejection at 164. That was very nice on ARM right there. So today, same exact thing, right? You got to be careful longing ARM into this 164. If you can get above it, then I like it, right? If you can get a solid maintain. Right, guys, this is what I mean. When I say solid maintain, when I say look for a hold above a level, right, you guys hear me talk about that a lot. You never quite got a solid hold, right? You might have longed this, right? I could see the situation where someone may have longed here, looking for that hold, and maybe they got a few points, but this is just sort of a failed move, right? So you can see we tried to maintain it here. We did get a little pop. We tried to maintain it again. We got a little pop. We got those pops, but, a sort of a lack of strong continuation, and then you can see right here just a total failure of it. So you got to really get that strong maintain. I could totally understand. I probably would have got faked out on this, right? I just wasn't trading ARM, and I don't really like to trade ARM too much. But I could see someone maybe getting faked out on this 164 hold, right? Saying, hey, we're holding above it. I could try to long this. Maybe they got a little piece, and maybe they got a little piece here. This is a true testament, once again, to what I talk about in my YouTube videos, right? I talk about this in my YouTube videos all the time, right? And so, actually, this makes for a really good little. I'm gonna maybe try to make this 2 minutes long. This right here this is a great example of why you scale off of profits quickly, right? Because, hey, if you longed off 164 here and you got this pop, you're probably up about 20% right here. If you're scaling off here, taking some profits, if this drop does come back in, then, hey, you're protected from that. And that's sort of how you trade with risk management. Let's say you longed here, you got about, some upside there, took some profits, and it did end up failing on you. Well, at least you took some profits on the pop, and you're not losing as much on the fake out, on the drop. What happens is I get, there's trades that hold this 164. This thing rallies straight up, right, and continues, and then you get people on my YouTube videos and comments saying, why'd you hold? Why didn't you hold, right? Why did you take profit so quickly, right? Why didn't you maintain that position? You could have made so much more money if you would have held. This stock went up all day, right? Well, hey, you don't know that. Right. And so what happens is people get that in their mindset. They don't take profits. They think that this is going to happen because they're, sort of greeded up. And then this happens and they're like, holy shit. Right. I can't believe that just happened. And so what do you do to protect yourself? You do the same thing every time. Right. You do the same thing every time. Right. You just continue to take profits on the pops every single time. I completely ignore seasonalities. There's almost always a June pullback and a big drop in September. Tommy, guys, there's something about just watching the market in real time, okay? You gotta stop trying to guess what the market does. Just watch it in real time, right? If you can just open your eyes and watch the market in real time, you can know when something is starting to happen, right? If the NASDAQ fails below this level today, I will know that the market could see more downside. It's not like the second I make a plan in the pre-market, guys, I'm cemented in stone. I think a lot of people don't quite understand that, right? If I say, hey, look for a hold here today for some longs, guys, if this drops this level, it's not like I'm sitting here cemented in stone and I can't change what I'm doing, okay? We're traders. We adjust. We make a game plan, but we adjust, okay? You have to do this. If I see that level drop today, I'm going to look differently, right? I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to adjust to what the market is showing me. I'm not cemented in stone, and I can only look for upside today, right? I can only look for upside today. There's nothing else I could do, okay? We will know if the market is starting to drop. We will know that there is a drop below key levels. We will know that support levels are not holding. We will know that we drop below this double bottom low, right? We will know that things are happening, and we can change and adjust to that. We do not need to make generalized statements about seasonality and think that we know the market is going to drop. Okay, guys, come on. We got to move on from that. That is it's such a problem. It's such a problem in trading. It really is. It's such a unfortunate, egotistical thing that people have in their minds, and you got to move on from it. You got to find a way to just trade what's on the screens and not care about or really try to guess what's going to happen. You just can't do it. All right, let's continue. TSM. Guys, whether seasonality is true or not, right? Just trade the chart. Trade the chart. That's it. Trade the chart, man. All right, TSM. Here we go. 176. What a beautiful pullback this was, What a beautiful pullback this was over the last few days, right? We had this big pop. We had this beautiful consolidation on TSM, and that 170 level just sort of maintained all week. And we had a beautiful little, I guess you could call it, a little consolidation and breakout here on TSM. What a beast of a stock. We've been all over this thing, and wow. wow. So, previous highs right here, 176. What a beautiful hold that is. You can see even in the pre-market here, 176 right there. Beautiful hold at 176. And you got to get a pullback now. That's all really I can say. You can't quite chase this thing now. You got to get this 176 pullback. If this thing can pull back to these previous highs, then definitely look to see if there is a long entry that occurs here. That would be the level to watch. Unfortunately, I don't think you maybe you'll get it, but man, is this a strong TSM train. And you guys know we've been sort of shifting that, thinking about shifting some of that focus into TSM. And I think this thing's in catch-up mode right now. I really do. We've been talking about this the last few weeks, how TSM is sort of looking very strong. After it got ever since it got those machines from ASML, it got those semiconductor manufacturing machines. Ever since then, this thing just seems like it's got some juice behind it. So I would continue to watch this thing. And yeah, 176. I've been buying shares of this almost on a daily basis. All right, let's continue. Qualcomm, another one to sort of be watching. You guys can see right here. This is another nice little consolidation that's going on right now. I would watch this 213, and you need to get over that 218. 218 looks to be the level to break. So I'm actually going to create an alert at or above 218. That would be great. I'll look to see if we can get above that. If we can, that would be something I'd look to long. I like this consolidation right above these previous highs. So 213 and 211, right? 213, 211, some nice holds right there. Continue to see if there's pullback longs here. And then we're going to have to break 218. Sorry, 213, 211, and then the highs of 218. Okay. AVGO, Broadcom, Beastie. Really clean thing that happened. I just want to show you real quick. There was a very clean thing that happened here on Friday. You guys can see right here, we had this Thursday high at 1735. Look at that hold end of day right there on AVGO. Really nice on Broadcom. You can see that Thursday high, and look at that little maintain end of day. That was special, right? So you can see if we can hold that 1735, which we did, and that thing gapped up. Unfortunately, you really can't enter here, guys. If you want to try to stay in terms of some type of strategy, some types of structure to your trading, that's just sort of throwing everything out the window, entering up here. So for me, I got to accept I sort of missed this. But if we can get some kind of gap fill pullback, you're absolutely keeping an eye on this. All right. Did ASML end up doing that flag? It didn't. It broke down. Yeah, it didn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, it did. Yeah, but it failed, though. It did do the flag breakout, but it failed. So not much there. It's still stuck under that 1056. What else? What semiconductors did I miss? ARM, Qualcomm, TSM. We didn't do MU. We'll go MU. We did SMCI, Nvidia. Here's MU. Yeah, MU's a beast too, huh? MU, really nice structure here as well. Look at this 139 hold. 139, right? 135. Really nice 139. What are we watching now? I don't really like longing off some of these highs here, to be honest. What is this? 143.50? Yeah, it could be like this 143.50 spot right here, right? You see this? 143.50, 143.50, 143.50, right? That's probably the spot right there. If you break under 143.50, then you probably get gap fill, right? Or maybe longs back at the 139. If you hold above this, right, this could be your long spot right here, 143.50, right? That's what I'd look for. 143.50, back to that candle here, that gap up candle, back to some of these highs. Look for that long to set up there. If you do fail below it, that's where you get your gap fill move, maybe back down to 141, maybe back down into these channel lows. Okay. Let's go to Meta. Meta has done a nice little consolidation. Still a strong name, just a little bit of a failure after a big pop, which is to be expected, right? A lot of sellers sort of stacked up there. I would be definitely watching this 499-500 zone. 499-500, all right here. You can see we're sort of sliding lower into it. This sort of looks like it could be doing a little bit of a, one of these, right? If we can hold that 499-500, if we can get back above that 505, I would look to see if this can continue. But this has to hold, in my opinion. This has to hold 499, right? You cannot break under this. You break under that, you get weakness, okay? 499 on Meta. Watch to see if that can maintain. Let's go to, we can go to Cava real quick if you guys want. I would say wait for Cava to get back over 93, guys. I wouldn't long this thing until it's over 93. This was our spot that we were looking for profit taking. We did a great job of that on Friday and Thursday and Friday. I would be careful on Cava into 93. Just looks really heavy up there. I would probably wouldn't long it until you get back above that. Let's go to Netflix because Netflix is a monster. A beautiful hold over the 658 on Friday. We had that 658 level on Friday, and you can see right here. Look at that little 658 curl. I am a little bit upset that I didn't go with this thing a little bit more aggressive on Friday. This was a perfect hold at 658, which was the exact previous highs, right? So this was just textbook on Netflix. You can see right here, previous high, 658, very clear there. And that hold intraday at 658 was really nice. So a little bit upset I didn't, take a little bit more action there. But a huge breakout, and this is the level to watch now. 664, very clear. Previous highs right there. If you can get a little pullback to that 664, this is exactly what I'd be looking for. 664, right there. Look to see if that can be a pullback long level today. 664 on Netflix. Yeah, TSM MU, very similar charts, and that's something I do want to talk about. The way TSM and MU are moving higher is very strong, okay? And why do I say that? It is not a vertical upside move, okay? This TSM move is healthy. This is what you call a healthy move, right? It is a structured upside move. It's upside followed by downside consolidation, followed by upside, followed by consolidation, followed by upside, followed by pullback consolidation, upside, pullback consolidation, right? Upside. This is a healthy way for a stock to move higher, right? When you see stocks go straight up, you can expect something like this. But the way TSM is moving higher is in a very structured move, right? Look at this. You could pretty much just draw out exactly what it's doing every time. It's doing this. This is what TSM's doing. And that's what you love to see, right? Look at how perfect this is. Look at that, right? Almost exactly what I drew is exactly what TSM is doing. That's what you love to see because this provides opportunities to long and, buyers to step back in and then the pop. Now you're looking to see if it does something like this, right, for the next pop. Very healthy on TSM. That's what I really like about it. Last one before we go, Apple. Has to get above this 215, right? This is big time here. And the hold around that 211 was pretty strong on Friday. So you're still getting sort of that 211, 215, still a $4 range here. If we can get above 215, I would definitely look to see if this explodes again. If you get under that 211, maybe. I tried to take some shorts on Apple. They're not quite working, right? You got above, I had the 212 level, and I thought we might be able to get some of that pullback to 208. Doesn't look like it wants to do it, man. Apple, the freight train might just continue. So not much action on that downside under 212 on Friday. I'm still interested to see if you do pull back to this 208. Still interested. Not getting it, though. So I am just interested in seeing this thing pop over 215 and along this thing again. Very nice. All right. 215, I would say 211 now that you have those lows, right? You have those lows from Friday, so make sure to have those marked out. 211.30, 215, right? Watch that zone. If you can get above this zone, I think Apple will try to do that dance again. All right? All right, guys. I hope you can help me out and press that like button. I appreciate that, Emilio. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys coming here supporting the stream. It's 8:53. I got to head over to the group. Yeah. Interesting morning. Let's actually go quickly and pop into that NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is pulling back. This is good. This is good, right? We got to see where this pullback comes into, okay? This is where we need to be on our toes. This is where traders make their money, okay? This is the difference between men and boys. We get our pullbacks, right? We know our levels, and this is where the money is made, right? The money is made by learning how to read what happens at the points of interest, right? What happens at the point of interest, at the POI? When we know a POI and we know where that POI is, when we start to come back down into it, the money is made by who reads it correctly. Do we see this thing hold today, or do we see this thing fail, right? That is going to be the question of the day, right in here. This is where the money will be made. So let's make sure we lock in and really pay attention to that. All right? Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.